What is the price of your peace of mind? And are you willing to pay it? These questions echo in the silence of my busiest days, and lately they've been screaming louder and louder. And the older I get, the more I realize there are some situations and people that no matter what value they appear to have, are simply not worth it. As the saying goes, if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. And I'd be lying to you if I said I haven't paid that price more times than I care to admit. I've clinged on to relationships past their expiration or stayed in jobs that drained my spirit. Trust me, I've been there, learning the hard way that some costs are just too high. I'm a firm believer that we have a finite amount of mental energy each day, and where we spend it will ultimately determine what we do or don't accomplish. And the days when your exhaustion outweighs your accomplishments, it's worth examining if something is robbing you of your peace of mind. Audit your time like you audit your bank account. If things are consistently costing you more value than you're getting, take note of that. Whether the currency is your peace of mind or a piece of your bank account, at some point you have to be honest with yourself and make the decision to adjust and try something new. There's a saying that in the grand scheme of your life, you are the CEO of your own existence. It's within your power to hire, fire, and promote accordingly. And I believe letting go is an act of courage, not defeat. It doesn't matter if it's a job that you've held for years or a friendship that spanned decades. If it's draining your spirit rather than enriching it, it's time to step back and move forward. And remember, the only person that you owe an explanation to is you. And I know that sounds harsh, but I believe with every bone in my body that protecting your peace of mind is a battle worth fighting. Not just for you, but for everybody that you care about. Because for everybody that I care about, I'm committed to being the best version of myself. But how can I do that if I'm always drained, squandering my efforts on matters that, in the grand scheme of things, hold little significance? What's given me considerable clarity in my life is asking this question. If this was your last week to live, would you have the conversation you're about to have with the person you're having it with? No? Well, then I'd think twice about having it now. And understand releasing what no longer serves you isn't a loss, but an opening. Like a clearing in a dense forest where new light can shine through. You're simply making room for something better. So let patience be your strength, wisdom your guide, but above all else, trust that doing what's best for you should always be part of the conversation. And the conversation about what's best for you isn't just necessary, it's essential. And the time for that conversation is always right now. They say no thought lives in your head rent-free, and your thoughts cost you more than you realize in the moment. I'd argue that the thoughts of bitterness, revenge, and resentment are perhaps the most costly thoughts you can have. Every time you think about that person who wronged you, that person hijacks your thoughts, your time, and your happiness. And just like your actual home, your mind only has room for so many thoughts. You can choose to occupy your mind with thoughts of bitterness or thoughts that empower you. The choice is yours. As Nelson Mandela once said, resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. So instead, forgive and grow. And don't forgive to make someone else feel better or because it's the right thing to do. Forget all that. Forgive for you. Forgive to free yourself from the attachment to negativity and to make room in your mind for all the things that could add value to your life. Let go of bitterness so you can have more time to plan your next project. And let go of that person who wronged you so you can hold on to the people that love you. And if nothing else, let go because your time is limited and you don't owe it to anyone but you. And never forget that hurt people hurt people. And rarely are things as personal as we make them out to be. And yes, when someone mistreats you, in the moment, it feels like things are 100% about you. But more often than not, it's less about you and more about an interpretation of you that you have little control over. So take ownership for what you can, but don't internalize the reactions of others. Their reactions are a reflection of a lifetime of experiences you have little to do with. So when it comes down to it, I've realized that happiness is a constant battle of choosing which experiences to hold on to and which experiences to let go. But the key word in there is choose, and the choice is always yours. One of my favorite books is The Gap in the Gain by Dan Sullivan. He lays out a concept that I really like. The concept is that everything that's ever happened to you is open for interpretation. Yes, the actual events are set in stone, but how you choose to perceive those events creates your true experience, and that's yours to decide. And more importantly, you can change that perception at any time, essentially creating whatever story about you that you want to tell. Poverty, divorce, death of a family member, you can look back on all those experiences and call them what you want. If you want them to be terrible experiences, they're terrible experiences. If you want them to be blessings, they're blessings. And if you think that sounds too simple, that's because it is. Not easy, but simple. It comes down to the good old metaphor of the glass half full or half empty. And to be honest, I used to think, who cares? You have the same amount of water either way. But over the years, I learned that it has nothing to do with the amount of water in the glass, or speaking more general, what happened to you, but more about what happens next. You could have the glass half full mindset and say, this is what I have now, but I expect it to get better. Or you can join the glass half empty group and, well, tell the universe you expect to have nothing soon. And whether you choose to believe it or not, you could rarely get more than what you expect out of life. And oh yeah, you can get less, but rarely more. So be careful where you set that metaphorical ceiling of expectations in your life. And no, I'm not saying that you have to always look through the world with rose-colored glasses. It's a natural response to be upset or disappointed, but to stay there, that's your choice entirely. And the truth is, bad things are going to happen to you, and you can let them break you, or you can let them be part of your breakthrough. Yeah, it sucks that you grew up in poverty, but what did you learn from it? And what are you going to do about it? Yeah, it sucks that you got diagnosed with that illness, but again, what did you learn from it? And what are you going to do about it? I challenge you to ask yourself those two questions with everything that happens to you in life, both the misfortunes and the blessings. And by doing so, I bet you'll see more blessings than misfortunes. And the magic is, you can take any past experience, and at any time, decide to apply this mindset. And by doing so, redefine your past. And I believe that's how you create whatever future you want for your life. And I don't know about you, but if I had to choose, I'd choose a past and a future full of blessings. What would you choose? I can't thank you guys enough for watching. If you want to make my day, hit that subscribe button. If you want to check out another video, I have a video here where I talk about the fact that you've survived the worst day of your life. It also has some cool footage I took over in Colombia. Check it out.